last event of Pod Jam 2021. Yes, Adventure Maidens live episode. Wow! We are so thrilled to have you here. Pod Jam has just been an incredible 2 days. Right now, we are raising money for the Trevor Project, which is a fantastic LGBTQ mental health services organization. They do a lot of life-saving work for youth. So it has been incredible. We have raised $1,300 already for the Trevor Project. And our goal right now is $1,500. So we are hoping that over the course of this game, we are going to smash through that goal. But of course, welcome. Here I am with some fantastic folks you might recognize if you are a patron of the Venture Maidens channel or have been watching all of the content this weekend. My name is Celeste Konowich. Tonight, I'm going to be your dungeon master as we play through this awesome one-shot game of the Venture Maidens. I'm also one of the co-founders with the fabulous Lisa Penrose of Penwitch Studio, which is putting on this awesome event. But let's go around the table here, and who else are we hanging out with? Lisa, I did say your name, so who are you if people haven't figured it out? Heck yes, so thrilled to have you. And we do have some familiar...
man, I was muted that whole time.
Oh,
I was muted that whole
time. Take two.
Oh, that awkward thing where I have to introduce myself again.
Oh boy.
This is on me. I'm producing. It's my fault.
Let's do it again. That never happened.
Okay.
Lisa, who are you?
Oh my goodness. I am Lisa Penrose. I am the second half of the founders over at Penwitch Studio Podcast Network. And I'm also the host and producer of Behold Her podcast, which spotlights femmes in tabletop RPGs. Goodness gracious. But today I am playing Mercy Albrecht, who is from the Tales from the Mists campaign, a podcast, and also a D&D Twitch show over on the official Dungeons & Dragons channel. The first one was better. You guys should have been there.
You'll never know.
We'll never know. It's lost to time. I should mention...
We'll only enjoy.
Yeah, something that was just for us. Yes, and we do have two familiar faces you might recognize if you're familiar with the Venture Maidens. Let's go around here. Sage, who are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sage. I was here yesterday on a panel for How to Horror Without Being a Dick with the lovely Lisa Penrose. And so I am both a player and showrunner here on the Venture Maidens.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Zoom lady, for telling us that the recording is in progress.
Everyone, because I'm producing, y'all probably heard that, but whatever.
Hey, well, this is a podcast live recording. So typically when you record a podcast, it's not live and you can just edit it, but you're getting the raw scoop right here.
Oh yeah, real behind the scenes look at the madness that goes on here at Venture Maidens. It's beautiful. And so with that, so I'm a tabletop professional DM that you can hire to run in games. You can hire me to be a part of a cast in your games, and I also create Magic the Gathering content in addition to D&D. So yeah, just follow me on Twitter and see everything I do.
Yeah. Who are you going to be portraying today?
Oh my god, it's been so long.
I know. Sorry, this is a little bit of chaos energy, but we'll level out. I promise.
We'll level it out. So today I am playing my lawful good sensibilities. Today I'm playing your lawful good barbarian paladin combo, Cara Brynhilda.
Oh yes. And Katie, who are you?
Hi, I'm Katie. You can find me on Twitter at lazy_mermaiden. I'm the community manager here for the Venture Maidens. Shameless plug, come hang out at our Discord. It's a great time. And I also have an Etsy store that has all kinds of D&D products, such as pins, jewelry, stickers, now magnets. So you can go over to my Twitter to get a link there. Today, I'm going to be playing Farah Valen, our other tiefling sorceress. And I'm so excited to get back to my party girl.
Yes. So for those of you who might not know, Venture Maidens is a D&D 5th edition actual play podcast that has been running for 5.5, 6 years now at this point. We just recently started campaign 2 after playing the same D&D campaign, recording those episodes and then posting them as a podcast during that huge long run. So it's been quite a while since we visited the characters from that first campaign, but this right here, what are we recording, is our first episode involving those characters after the finale of campaign 1. We're not going to give spoilers about the very end of that campaign, other than the fact, of course, that these two characters are here. You might notice a little bit of a class shift if you're familiar with Kara, but you can enjoy this even if you don't know anything about campaign 1. It's going to be a good time, and of course we have a fantastic guest as we are bringing Marcy into the mix here. So as we're going along, we hope you enjoyed this adventure, and please don't forget to be donating. If we make you laugh, if we make you cry, if you enjoy this show at all, please consider donating at least $5 to the Trevor Project as a way of saying thank you to all of these awesome performers and all this entire weekend.
Do we want to set an incentive goal for if we raise a certain amount, or if we hit our 1,500?
Yes. So I will say it will become quite clear over the course of this adventure that there's something strange going on here. So let's say every time we hit a $50 goal, I'm going to introduce a new creepy companion into the mix here. Every time we hit a $50, a new creepy companion will appear. A spooky friend will appear. So let's go ahead and hit those $50 marks, and you'll see. We'll get the idea. I think quite quick. So let's begin. So both Kara and Farah, you find yourself standing now in a mausoleum. It is a stone structure that goes deep under the ground, and you are kind of standing in front of this gateway, this carved marble gateway of these two very sad looking people who are clutching hands in this arc-like pattern. There are dead scattered leaves around the ground. It is freezing cold. Rain is pelting from above. So you are miserable, having just broken into this mausoleum, gone down here, all because your friend Vlad said that this was the way you had to get to where you are going to meet this person you are courting in hopes of bringing into your organization. So as you are standing there, cold, wet, dripping in front of this very creepy archway, what do we see? Kara, would you like to describe yourself in this moment?
So Kara is it would be about in looking to be in her like 30s, dwarven woman. She has these spring tight red curls that have become loosened under the weight of her helmet and sweat and the rain that are starting to like stick to her face. And she has a very wonderful and lovely and glowing beard. And she also wears very fine and beautifully maintained sort of ancestral dwarven armor that definitely reflects her clan and where she's come from. And sort of contrasting to that, she has this gorgeous gleaming sword at her side that has these beautiful motifs of water and swirling waves. And if you catch it in just the right light, you can almost make out the face of a beautiful woman reflected in it. And she's standing in this mausoleum looking at her lovely companion, Farah. It's like, leave it to Vlad to send us on another complicated and weird mission.
It's never to a beach, is it?
And the tiefling who has just said that, standing next to Kara, also just miserable at this point. What do we see of Farah?
Yeah, so kind of almost towering over her dwarven companion, there's about a 6'2" in heels tiefling, kind of a string bean of a woman, just her tail agitatedly flipping around behind her. She's wearing this very luxurious looking jacket that billows behind her that shifts color every time that any little bit of light hits it. She's got this teal wavy hair that, like, annoyingly, even though it's drenched, is still just like curling around her face perfectly. She's got this deep, rich brown skin and then two piercing gold eyes, one with a cat-shaped pupil and the other one a diamond-shaped pupil, and then two goat horns that go straight back behind her.
Yes, and I will say we got a $25 donation, so we are only $25 away from our first creepy companion.
Halfway to a friend.
Yay, spooky friends. So you see these two, you are standing here. Vlad told you that there was a sorcerer that was sort of famous back where he comes from, and he didn't really elaborate more on that. Vlad has always been a little bit cagey about your strange, dark, too tall friend who kind of drifts around through the shadows. Nobody really knows too much about Vlad, but he had promised that this incredible storm-touched sorcerer named Mercy Albrecht was quite a big deal where he came from, notably for her work defeating evil, which, I mean, Kara, this probably piqued your attention now with the world in so much chaos. You all had decided to pursue this person. Do you have a plan for recruiting this powerful sorceress you've heard so much about?
So I think Kara's only like real frame of reference for a sorcerer and what they would like is Farah. So, and she knows that Farah is like the people person. So Kara is like, whatever you think is great, and I will follow with that plan, because I will just shout, "Hey, pretty lady," and hope that woos her.
Was there any response you had, Farah, to this professional brief you've gotten from now your boss of this of the Furies?
I mean, the first thought obviously is, I don't know, that might work for me. That's
how I got you on the squad.
Yeah, it was definitely that. For sure. I mean, you looked a little different then, but you know, tomato. So yeah, I think that like she just has this horrible gaudy gift basket with of all the things that she might like in tow. There's like good booze, good food in there, like tickets to some like show,
which are
like,
soggy from the rain.
So soggy.
The basket.
Like, in hindsight, terrible plan. Good luck getting her to admit it. And honestly, at this point, she just is like, you know what? Just kind of puts it in the corner of the mausoleum and is like, looks at Kara and she's like, I mean, we'll come back to that. We'll tell her about all these great treats, and then we'll come back here and get them and present them when they're a little bit more dry. But we might need to adjust the plan just a little bit, boss.
All right. Well, if they're this powerful sorcerer, if they've defeated evil, then maybe that they know of a threat or some other evil somewhere that we can maybe try and take down together. And then through our prowess and working together as a team, we can come together and convince her that it's going to be great and that we can fight evil elsewhere. I mean,
sure. And Farah's like wringing out her coat and she's like, yes, our prowess. I'm going to be really excited to present that to her.
And it's at this moment that a very scary, like, whistling comes through the mausoleum, and you hear the doors slam and clatter as thunder bursts from above, and those leaves, those dried dead leaves, scrape across the floor in front of this archway.
Where the fuck are we again?
Yeah,
Sarah has
'cause-
involuntarily like jumped a little bit closer.
Yeah, because you're looking through this archway and there's nothing there. There's not like a door or anything. It just appears there's space for you to walk through it, but it just appears to be this stone wall on the far side.
Well, Kara's going to take out her sword and you'll sort of settle her shield on her off arm and step in front of Farah and say, well, won't be the first time we've stepped through a strange doorway, and we'll try to proceed to try and walk through.
Step
God,
through the
I wish it were
archway.
the last.
Yep. Brilliant. And you pass through this very weird, artistically rendered archway. But at this moment, let's jump over to you, Mercy. Currently, all around you is this swirling, oppressive, heavy fog and this terrible scent of like decaying plant matter, something really stinky as your hoof lands in yet another just stretch of soggy bog that you have been passing through. So as we see Mercy in this moment, what do you look like? Tell us a little bit about Mercy.
Mercy is up until, I guess, this moment, pristine, ghostly white tiefling with one long scythe-shaped horn coming from her forehead. She is wearing a light blue gown that has sort of been ripped and torn, and tattered at the edges, at the hems, from lots of travel and wear, but not a speck of dirt except for maybe like a little smoosh of mud just now. And her left hand glimmers in this sort of like weird light of this setting. As there are different facets, her hand looks as if it's stained glass kind of transitioning to her white flesh. And I think in this particular moment, she steps in mud again, and there's sort of like an eek noise that erupts from her. Her hoof retracts up into her gown, and she's now hovering above. She's like, this is a good use of flying. So now
this spell slot worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, because again, and you have been walking for miles and miles. It took you so long to get even the location of the curator, and you finally found this swamp, this mythical, legendary swamp that somewhere is supposed to conceal this crystalline palace, this museum. But God, if you can't find, it's just been croaking frogs and crawling things and weird smells and this mist everywhere that you just can't really see what's happening. It's been this doldrums, I think, of trying to find this place for so long. And
probably mumbling to myself, and I'm like, they never leave somewhere nice.
No.
It's always swamps or spooky castles, lots of dust.
Yes.
One time I would like a civilized Dark Lord.
One time. And what's very weird is that this sentence is punctuated by a pop that comes from somewhere in the mist, maybe about 30 feet or so. Your visibility is severely limited by this weird mist that just won't leave, but you hear the sound quite clearly, and a splashing sound. And Kara and Farah, you suddenly, no transition, no warning, no magical glow, no elevator music, just fall into the middle of a muddy sludge pile. And there are reeds sticking out around you. You hear of a bullfrog from somewhere around you. And the marshy swamp smell hits your nose as you land here in this gray, misty place.
Oh, falling, my favorite.
You just
Picking
hear
sticks.
it's just spit out swamp water comes out of Farrah's mouth, and she just pulls this like gross algae piece off of her head and flicks it to the side. There was no warning from Vlad that this was gonna be on the other side exactly. Maybe like a hey, fly maybe. That would have been nice.
Vlad is not exactly one to come up with warnings. He's always creeping up against randomly in the hallway, so not terribly surprised.
Mercy, you are hearing this chatter, the popping, the splashing, and the instant chatter of these two voices through the mist.
Yeah, I feel like Mercy uses her staff to kind of push, almost kind of like she's like paddling a boat, but she's like hovering above the mud, to push in that direction, and she erupts through the fog into your view with her hand raised and says, "Dark Lord, it is I, Mercy Albrecht. Prepare for your You don't seem to be the curator."
So you see this tiefling come forward. So you all are standing there now looking at each other. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you just do karate hands, Katie? Is that what Farrah is doing?
Yeah, for sure. You never know. It's something that I took up as a just in case, skill, working towards my level in monk.
Yep. I'm bored. Level 18. Yeah. You miss Saye. She's been gone on a lot of missions lately, so you've been trying to, work out.
I kind of feel that gap. Kara says, the curator? Wait, are you Mercy?
Her eyes narrow.
Yeah.
She is suspicious now. What are you, some sort of ghoul? She pokes you with her staff.
No, dwarf, totally alive, tiefling, also very alive. I'm a paladin. I can detect ghouls. It's a useful skill. No, we were sent here by a man by the name of Vlad about someone that we are hoping to recruit to our wonderful organization, the Order of the Furies, a bastion of justice and righteousness in these dark times.
Oh, the Order of the Furies. I like these things. Righteousness, justice. But I don't know these, Vlad. But I am Mercy. And she holds out her hand to shake yours. And if you extend yours, she will prestidigitate it first, and then grasp your hand, and then prestidigitate her hand after.
That's like, that's nice. That's cool. Pleased to meet you. This is my, what are we calling your department again?
Party department. Hi.
Party.
I am the party department. Yeah.
We would actually love to use my department to throw you a party if you would like to come back with us and join our ranks. We've heard great things.
Party, you came here. You brought the party department. Okay. And she kind of like, she's being a little bit condescending right now. She's like, so you've come to a domain. Sometimes we get people who don't know what domains are. You are in a domain, and it is a very dangerous place. There is a man who collects souls. He's called the Curator. He's a Dark Lord. Have you fought a Dark Lord before?
None of this is familiar to either of you, for sure.
We've fought a lot of things.
Not that. I'd love to add it to the list.
Hasn't fought a Dark Lord. Okay. Well, this party sounds very, very nice, but I need help facing a Dark Lord, this Curator. And so maybe after we defeat the Dark Lord and free the whole domain, then we can do the party.
Okay.
That sounds brilliant. Yeah, we can totally find this Dark Lord.
Oh, you're coming with. Okay. So what sort of skills do you bring?
God, these people who are covered in mud still haven't gotten up, just sitting in the mud, I guess.
No, we stood up because I had to shake.
Oh,
shake
yeah.
your hand.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't hear it. Oh, okay, cool. We hit that $1,350 donation, so that's a $50 mark. So a creepy friend is coming your way. But continue on.
Oh no. Well, I am a sorceress. I specialize in blowing things up and healing people.
Oh, well, that does sound very useful. I'm sorry
told.
if I seemed skeptical. We just get all sorts who sort of just appear in the domains, and sometimes they die, and sometimes they come back, and that's a whole like apocalypse. I mean, I don't. I'm sorry, but what do you do?
Oh no, I can definitely relate to that. We are dropping into places all the time, and people never expect anything from us. We're the Venture Maidens. I specialize in, well, quite frankly, I'm the meat shield. I have a very nice sword. I am very good at using it, and I also train other people to use their swords well as well. I can heal, I can smite, I can destroy and turn undead. It's really a complete package here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you do seem to fit the usual role of explorers, and I believe it is better to adventure together. I don't know how long you've been in this domain, but I am looking for a beautiful palace amidst, and I kind of gesture towards the mud and make like a grossed out face. That is a museum of all of the Dark Lord's collections.
Haven't seen that. But if we need to, I mean, it looks like you're flying. I can do that too. Not trying to brag, but it is a thing I can do.
Compete or whatever.
Just saying. You're a tiefling sorceress. I'm a tiefling sorceress. We got this. We know. We could fly up, take a look around. But offhand, no. That's a no from me. Haven't seen it.
Just out of curiosity, you all are level 18. What are your passive perception scores? Just out of curiosity.
19.
10? Lisa, what?
Mercy isn't. She has other
wise.
skills.
Not looking at things.
Yeah.
Not one of
Why
them.
do you think she's been in this fog for like a week?
Oh, I see. I understand now. I'm sorry.
It's just been around the same tree.
Suddenly, I don't feel powerful anymore after asking that question. 10 and 12. Thank God you're here.
God, sorry, Sage. What was yours? Please save us, Kara.
19.
Yeah, all right, okay. So these two are like talking about, oh, we could fly and whatever, and you're looking at this like oppressive fog that clearly travels up and down and around, just expanding, filling everywhere, and you're like, okay, flying, cool. And you hear Kara rap come from sort of behind you, and you see sticking out of one of these muddy reed beds, because the ground you're standing on is that soft, peaty, not quite real, like solid ground. You feel yourself sinking down, the weight of your armor into it. And so out of one of these big puddles, you see a blue eye poke up out of this mud that's followed by another one. And this creature, it looks like an amphibian of some kind, but its skin, it has this almost luminescent quality to it, more like you're looking at the outline of something than something real. But it looks at you with these eyes that are pitch black, and you hear and like some bubbles pop to the surface as this thing kind of rolls its black eyes looking at you.
Meanwhile, so maybe we could fly up, and maybe we could do like a flying stack, and then we can see first.
Yeah, for sure. Like back-to-back formation,
This is so
maybe.
good.
And
Yes, we will find that. The two tieflings, we got it.
While they're having that conversation, Kara is going to very, with great trepidation and her sword pointed forward, is going to very slowly make her way towards this creature and like go to like try and poke at it. Be like,
Yeah,
I
are you
don't want to
poking
have
it?
to kill you.
Are you poking it with your sword or like a stick? What are you poking it with?
Like, yeah, very gently kind of offering like a small prod, just being like, yay, like, no funny business.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you do, your sword passes through the skin of this creature, and you quickly realize that that misty quality, that silvery light of this thing, it's not material. You pass through, and so this thing continues to blink at you, one eye, then the other, a little bit, a couple seconds after, which is very unnerving. And you hear another, and this thing continues to kind of surface out of the mud as it balloons upwards, and it's very large for a frog, you think is what this thing is. It's about the size of a basketball, and now you can see the top of its eyes and its head and its big mouth that's been bropping at you this whole time, and you see the fat kind of neck body of this thing now that's looking up at you, completely unconcerned with your sword passing through its incorporeal form.
Kara's going to look at this thing, and then she's gonna be like, Mercy, is this the curator?
Mercy's going to turn, and is this a thing familiar to me at all, or?
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a nature check or an arcana,
Yay.
perhaps?
I choose Arcana.
First roll.
15.
Yay. All right. You've been in the domains of dread for quite a while. I think you've probably seen a ghost or two in your time. But this thing in front, so it looks like a ghost. It has that same kind of immaterial quality, but it does appear to be of a very large toad. And you've never seen a ghost of an animal before. That's typically, you have to have a soul and be really upset to be turned into a ghost. But so you think that's what it is, but this is pretty strange.
So normally I would see these is an undead. It is a ghost. Normally I would say we should all be prepared for the apocalypse. But this is a toad. Do they have toads where you are from?
Oh yeah, we got stone toads that live underground, and they eat the lichen off of the rocks.
What a horrifying plane.
Yeah, terrible.
It's got its charm, but it's not for everyone.
I guess I'll float over to the toad ghost. And I'll try to interact with it and say, "Hello, ghost. Can you understand me?"
And this toad does turn towards you and looks up at you. You can't get much expression from it, especially because its pupils are all black, which is very unnerving. Even for a ghost, it has this kind of blue light form with the black eyes. These orbs are just focused on you. You're not sure how you can tell because they're not pointed in any particular direction, but you feel it. And in response to you floating above, the toad continues to rise out of this pool. And you see now two of its fat little webbed hands and its back legs start doing the little kicky out of the mud as it hovers now in this full weird, like when you pick up a cat, the way they're just like, it's floating there now. And this thing is long. This is like about 3 feet long altogether. So a dog-sized toad floating above in response to you, and bop, as it looks at you.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
That's a word. Creepy friend, keep donating, chat. You can do more of this.
What do we do with this now that we've got a hit? This is...
Do you know how to get to the curator?
Are you rolling? I would like some kind of persuasion or animal handling, or how are you engaging with this toad?
Oh man, I want to say persuasion because that's what the numbers are, but animal handling makes more sense.
Yeah,
to me.
trying to get it to.
I'm like doing gestures. I don't know what I would like a dark lord. I'm like, yeah, like fangs. Or, like I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. With the pointed fangs.
Farrah's gonna reach forward with a glowing finger and just tap Mercy on the shoulder and give her guidance.
Yes, please.
All the guidance
A
string.
2, so it's a total of 16.
Okay, all right. So you are, you're making gestures and not really sure how to interact with this toad, but you are, damn it, you're doing your best. And this toad watches you for quite a while, and then it begins to just spin creepily in the air, looking off in a direction, probably about 90 degrees away from where you were before, and it starts to hover at a accelerating speed, moving into the mist.
Oh.
And its legs trailing behind it as it's like carrying itself on the wind.
We should follow.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, you're the expert of this domain. So if following a ghost frog seems right, after you, madam.
Fair. It really wouldn't be the beginning of a mission without following some sort of animal.
Strange animal.
I fucking hate that you're right.
So you begin following this zooming ghost toad through
Paddle
the
with my
through the
staff.
marsh.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Now this seems like a really good idea. So as you begin to follow this thing, and it's starting to accelerate, and it hasn't made any motion to try and move like a normal toad or on the ground or anything. It continues to just fly out its legs behind it like you would if you were just flying through the air. And every once in a while it'll get too far away, and then it'll stop and let you know with a brop where it is in the mist, and you continue to splash through this horrible environment. And again, Kara, because your perception is so high, you start to notice some weird things about this swampy land that you're in. Everything here is pretty flat, which is strange. You don't really find larger bodies of water. It's almost like the same size puddles and the same kind of trajectory that just continues on and on. It takes you a while to notice of splashing it, but it's like that same little patch of ground is repeated over and over and over again. And in a swamp, you usually hear a few different things: buzzing insects, lots of different bird calls. You're not hearing any of that. You hear toads, frogs, but that's it. No other kind of wildlife as you're moving through the swamp, which is very strange. Is there anything you would like to do with this information?
I think, noticing all this, it definitely calls to mind one of their previous missions, and she's going to turn to Mercy and ask, so this curator, did they create this domain? This seems to be like, this isn't natural in the way that we would think of natural. Everything seems, well, quite frankly, curated.
I suppose we have toad ghosts instead of toads that eat off rocks.
The true horror.
Yeah. But there are different legends of the Dark Lords. Some say that they created their domains, and some say that they are prisons of a sort, land created because of a dark deed.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, what is it? I mean, why do you want this curator dead in the first place?
He takes souls. He takes souls and collects them for fun. Wait. Is that a thing where you're from? Do people? I should have probably asked.
Do you collect souls?
Do you collect souls?
Kara's definitely thinking about this, and she's like, well, it's not really a great thing, but it's a thing that I've heard people do for power.
Well, here he does it for entertainment, for I suppose a sort of glory, like trophies of noble families and other powerful people. He collects their souls and displays them.
Does anyone know what he looks like? Is he a really, really big toad? Is his castle like a giant lily pad?
Kara, that would be totally crazy.
Oh, mad.
That's
So
a joke.
God.
Maybe if we hit our goal of 1,500. So let's
Keep
like said no.
going. Keep going. So Mercy, the weirdest thing about the curator is that nobody really knows actually what they look like.
I suppose he could be a toad. I didn't ask the ghost if he was the curator. Do you think I should?
Your donations have power, Chet. We brought the Dark Lord right here. Please, for the youth, donate to the Trevor Project. Let's get through this adventure. No worries.
I just imagine a Dark Lord being more dynamic of a personality, and she kind of like tilts her head in the toad's direction. I'm not getting those vibes.
The toad has its, hands out in front of it here. It's flopping little fins as it spins around, and its legs kind of catch up with its momentum as it spins 180 to look back at you all, who have all paused, and it goes flap.
So cute. You couldn't be a Dark Lord. And I'm like squelching its little toad cheeks.
Yeah, and you try and your fingers pass
Oh,
through
right.
it,
It's a ghost.
and it stares at you with the black marbles of its eyes.
You wouldn't bring about the apocalypse, would you?
Pat, pat. Hover, hover.
Well,
I wish I had more information. All I know is the lair is somewhere here. And when we find the palace, we will find the curator.
well, if we have nothing else to go on, then let's keep following this toad. Words I never thought I'd say.
And you do. And the toad, almost as if it understands you, takes off again and begins to spin and jet through the mists. And you go and you follow it, and it's moving in the zigzag pattern once again, Kara, through this very familiar landscape. Frustratingly so, you continue to follow this thing until finally, after maybe 15 minutes of following, you begin to see something through these mists. And again, your visibility is very, very reduced, but it's like when you see the top of a mountain that is surrounded by curling mist. There is some kind of large structure that you see soaring up into the sky, and you catch a hint of greenish stone, almost like a jagged edge of a crystal that is pierced out of the ground, probably about 100 feet away or so from where you are. So you've come almost right up onto this thing.
As Kara is seeing things, Mercy has turned to Fira and is just like, do you think we should name the ghost toad? I feel weird just calling it ghost toad.
Sure. I mean, with those two big black eyes, Boba would be cute.
What a strange
Boba.
word.
Oh my god, you've never had Boba?
Apparently we have fantasy Boba, so
Listen, when we go back, we're gonna get you to Phelan. I know a noble who started making these things. It's incredible.
it seems like it'd be weird and disgusting, but it's so delightful for no reason.
Yeah, Mercy's like making a face as Fira describes what boba is.
Tapioca and these little rubbery balls that shoot into your mouth when you go to
Oh
work.
my god.
Oh, such a
Taro-
horrifying land.
Oh, it's like a root flavor. It's so good.
Like dirt.
Yeah. These are some of the weirdest people you've ever met. And, you know, you've been in the domains of dread. But yes, I think you all come to this point, and as you're naming this toad, it all becomes clear to you now. The mists actually start to part as you were standing in front of this thing, and you see it's not just this one jagged crystalline piece, but that was the tower of this structure that is laid out in front of you. So if you imagine when you look at the inside of a geode, that spiky and weird isometric layout, that is what you're seeing in front of you. This lime green and jade toned, basically crystalline structure is in front of you, just sat in the middle of this swamp out before you. And weirdly enough, in one of these crystalline faces in front of you, there is a large iron door.
Oh, finally, somewhere clean. I start floating towards the door.
Yes. And yes, your toad friend, as you float, follows right alongside you. Boba just, flying through the mists, waiting in front of this door, and turns to you, Mercy, and gives you a brop.
I will turn to my companions and say, well, should we? I must admit, I've had a few companions who've died because of doors. But this door seems fine.
This is great.
I got it. This is my job. I'm really good at opening doors. Before we do that, however, we are going to cast Detect Evil and Good.
Oh, neat.
Oh, wow.
Why didn't you tell me? Let's just tell me what I gotta tell you. Just tell me.
So I get to know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there's a place or object within 30 feet that is magically consecrated or desecrated.
Neat. You get a monstrous amount of reads from where you are, and it's not just in front of you looking at this store, it's all around you. One very clearly is this toad, the toad bro, Boba, in front of you, who is clearly an undead creature. But in all the little puddles around where you are, basically everywhere you hear one of these bullfrog sounds, it's the reading of an undead creature. And as you get the sense beyond the doors, petering out to the edge of that 30 feet, you just know that there are so many of these tortured undead creatures. But it's also weird because I think undead, when you're sensing evil, I imagine that there are degrees to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, like there are a horde of zombies that want to eat my brains on the other side of the door. Feels different than agonized, hurting, lost creatures.
Pure torment.
And that's what you get, the wave of torment all around you.
And so as Karya's like reaching out to this door, and you see she stops and she focuses for just a moment. And I imagine it's almost like in like when you're looking at like heat signatures, like sort of that infrared, you just see the
Cool.
but it's like in this like in these swirling grays, and she kind of recoils a bit and shakes her head, and then she reaches out to for a handle.
Yeah.
Try and push it open.
Yeah, and you do. And as you touch these handles, you notice they are wrought in beautiful pewter and silver that has been carved in these ornate and fine roses and decoration. These door handles are something you might see in an aristocrat's, summer home, something they spend a lot of time making. And it occurs to you now, too, you're looking at these doors stuck in the middle of this big crystal in the middle of a swamp. They're beautiful. The wood is rich, this warm color. Luxury is what comes to mind when you hear that click of the door and can pull it open. Farrah, this is probably something you would notice even probably faster than Kara. How nice. These doors
immediately she like leans in over Kara and is like, damn, sweet dicks.
Damn. Weird. Kara, do you pull open the door?
Oh yes, we pull open the door and we hold up the shield with the other arm.
Ah! And you see, as the doors open, Boba begins to drift further and further away back into the outside. And you hear a splashing sound as they disappear, heading back into the puddle clearly, or Boba wasn't willing or could not follow you into this place. And as you open up the door, you see before you a great hall. The floor is made of that same smooth crystalline material, those flecks of green and part of it being opaque or see-through moving through the floor. It's exquisite. This long rug in front of you is woven of 1,000 different colors and fine threads of silk. Must have cost so much. And you see these grand sweeping stairs that move up at the end of this room, up to an upper story where you see rows and rows of these beautiful wooden doors. Statues adorn this place, statues of monsters, of heroes, woven throughout this hall, things that are just amazing to look at. You can see that immediately to your left, there's another of these grand wings that continue on, and to the right, another of these grand wings, and covering the walls are tapestries so fine, so magnificent, with colors you've never even seen before woven into their designs and textures, and oil paintings that are breathtaking all around you. And as you step into the space, you see that it's lit by these globes. They look like these glass globes hovering in the air that are illuminated with this gorgeous silvery blue light. Each one of them has one of these lights shining up above, suspended in the air.
Would Kara recognize with her detect good, evil, and good, which lasts for 10 minutes, would she recognize this as the source of what she had sensed from the other side of the door?
Yes, each one of those globes up above is an undead being. The lighting fixture of this room is comprised of undead, tortured souls.
Kara like just audibly gasps as we start to step into this room, and she's like, "Oh, we're definitely killing these guys." All right, the curator.
What has changed your resolve?
Each of these is a trapped soul.
There are hundreds of different sizes, shapes, hung up, hovering in the air, illuminating all of these beautiful things.
All of those belong to Des, and if we don't free Sam, then Des will be angry, and the undead will rise up, and it will be the hour of ascension. And Mercy starts to like hyperventilate.
Ooh, okay. Deep breath in. And okay. So how do we release them then, if that's what we need to do? Has there like a switch? Do we have to help them finish their unfinished business? I don't know anything about this.
I don't know how the curator has trapped Sam. It's unusual, his collection. Again, where I'm from, even collecting souls weird. That's weird where you're from, right? No one answered me before.
No one answered, and I'm concerned that nobody gave me an answer.
Let's just say I would rather light somebody on fire who did this than go to their house for a dinner party.
Okay, good. I like you two more and more. I think first, we could try to free souls along the way. We could try to find the curator, and then maybe defeating him, we'll free all the souls.
I only have so many slots to remove curse, so I definitely think figuring out how we could do this en masse would be much more
most efficient use. That's boss mentality. There you go, Bing.
So if that's what we're gonna do then, and move forward to try to find this guy, might I ask, Mercy, are you proficient in being sneaky, or is this something where we should just run in and be as ostentatious as possible to lure them out?
Well, I'm a little bit sneaky, and she does like tiptoes around, and you'd think she was a +3 sneaky.
If you had
If I
to
were
guess,
to put a number on it, wow, that's some pretty good +3 sneaking. If I were to put a number on it.
whoa.
I don't remember. Kara, you're very armored.
Yeah, this does not sneak.
I feel like
Okay.
as you talk, your armor rattles a little bit.
Yep. You hear the
Oh, definitely.
chainmail underneath the plate
Yeah.
moving around.
It is very fine chainmail though. It doesn't rattle as much as you would expect. You might say it
like
might
a
be
good
mithril.
elven. No, mithril. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes.
Oh, chat. If only they had a creepy friend to help them along on this journey. Oh,
Friends.
oh, wow. It's like a
Dang.
creepy friend would help them find their way, chat. If only somebody were here to donate to the Trevor Project, which is an amazing life-saving cause that helps LGBTQ youth.
Bring Broba back.
Bring Boba back. Boba had to go. We need a new friend. Let's get
Oh
in
my
here.
God. Let's get Vlad a pet when we go back. We're gonna
Yeah.
bring him with us.
Bring a
Yeah.
ghost frog.
If you're ever curious how to donate, you can type !donate into the chat and you will get the link to that Tiltify bar, which you can see up above. Please do donate for a real good cause, folks. We really want to hit that $1,500 goal. So with that in mind, looking at your options, you have this massive wing to the left, this massive wing to the right. You could go up these grand stairs and you see there are a ton of these wooden doors lining the way. So you've got a lot of passageways. I don't know if you all have ever been in like one of those really outrageously large art museums, that kind of just all these different wings and avenues to go.
Is anything labeled with it being like museum-esque? Is there like anything, saying in this wing it's this, and this wing it's that?
Are you looking around for anything? There's nothing obvious to the eye, but
Yeah, I'm looking around.
yeah,
I'm
go ahead and make
peeping.
me an investigation check.
I'm gonna guidance myself. Love yourself, people. All right. That is going to be a 15.
Okay, so you're looking around the space again. There's nothing obvious. There's no like pamphlets or anything for you to
I
look
love
for.
a pamphlet.
Love a good pamphlet. But you start to poke around the edges of where the wings turn into these long hallways. You'd look down the left and down the right, and they do seem to continue on and on and on, hundreds of feet. But yet every single space is something remarkable, a true delight. Paintings that you can't even conceive of. You're looking at things like you all in the framing of medieval, fantasy D&D, you're looking at like modern art pieces. You're seeing things like Van Gogh's hanging on the wall of this place. Just truly extraordinary work, every inch of it. And you have to pull away your gaze to kind of focus on what you're doing at every turn. And you do see that on the wall against each of these places are these bronze hammered out kind of plates that seem to list different directions here. And you see this one is the Hall of Antiquities, and then the other one is the Hall of Modernity. And then if you kind of look up the stairs here, that's a whole other thing if you want to go up and look at those doors. But you do find these small plates that seem to give you two options.
While you're observing this, Mercy is trying to keep a catalog of all the souls we have to free later. So she's got her little parchment notepad out and a little charcoal piece, and she can't detect souls. So she's like going up to paintings and just being like, "Are you a soul?"
And you
Doesn't
lean in.
Don't hear anything. Okay. Maybe
No,
soul.
you don't. Yeah. Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think after seeing both of those, wanting to know what is upstairs, Farah would kind of like put one foot on the stair to test if it was going to be that one creaky one.
Yeah. Everything is smooth, beautiful, well taken care of. There are no squeaky steps in this place. There is not a single piece of wood here that is uncomfortable to touch. Everything has been obsessively sanded, waxed, finished. There's no trace of dust here, Mercy. You might appreciate that.
Very much.
Not a single spider web. Somebody has taken so much care of this space.
I'm walking and I deign to touch the ground.
Oh, it's beautiful. And the carpet is soft and just wonderful. Wonderful. So Fairy, you move up, no creaky steps along the way. And as you come to these doors, it looks like there are about 20 of them. And they're all the same, this reddish kind of wood. None of them are labeled in any way. They're all identical, this long row of identical doors.
She kind of like leans over back towards the stairs and is like, these ones aren't labeled. So if this is just going to be more art and fucked up soul collecting down here, maybe we should move up.
We got an $140 donation, you guys!
Ben, thank you.
What? Ben, thank you.
What?
Thank you so much. What the?
We get
you
3
guys!
creepy friends.
That is 3 creepy friends. Yes, thank you all so much. Incredible. Oh my God, we hit our goal. That's so great.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Trevor Project.
My heart is so full. So you are having this conversation. Please do continue. 3 friends.
unless there's something I missed down there.
I think usually the Dark Lord is in like a laboratory or a grand ballroom or a throne room, and they're ready to be very dramatic. So I feel like upward rather than to the sides.
Sounds good to me, ladies.
Yep, definitely feel upward. Yeah, Car will definitely take the lead.
Yeah. So you do. Which of these 20 doors would you like to select from? They're all in a row along this wall.
Should we roll?
Yeah.
Roll a
good
d20.
idea.
Let's go.
I got 5.
Okay. The 5th door from the right.
Okay.
Down for it.
All right. So you pop open this door and you see that there is another of these very long gallery rooms in front of you here. And the walls of this room have been painted in different scenes, sort of remind you of when you look at Greek paintings, you're looking at these marble structures with these cloud blue skies up above, lots of themes of people lounging on chairs, people of all different races, enjoying themselves, having some kind of a party, eating snacks, drinking. It's painted all along the walls of this room. And you see at the very far end, there is a set of double doors that are wrought in silver.
Well,
Beautiful, glimmering silver.
That's way fancier, and fancier, I think, leads us closer.
He seems fancy. Or they seem fancy. I really don't know anything about the curator. I'm so glad you 2 showed up.
This would have been a mess.
Meanwhile, every time she passes like a painting or something, she's pointing at it, and she's now learned that Kara can tell whether they're souls or not. So she's like, "Is this a soul? What about this one?" And like taking notes.
Paintings do not appear to be souls.
Yeah, she will
But if
relay
Not
that.
equals soul.
If you look hard enough at it, maybe that's what the artist was trying to convey. Ah,
Mm,
soul.
yes.
Indeed. And Kara will look to open up these fancy silver doors.
All right. You stride boldly forward. So far, you haven't encountered any noise, indication of anyone else here. No sounds, nothing. It's very quiet, especially with all the tapestries and rich carpets. It's weirdly quiet, honestly. And as the door opens on its well-oiled hinges, yet again, not another sound. It surprises you to find a dark room in front of you. And it takes all of you with dark vision a minute to, readjust your eyes, and instantly figures pop out at you. This room is full of people. And it's that weird, like, oh God moment. And as you focus in, you realize these people aren't moving. You're seeing these really elaborate, lifelike statues that are just completely line the sides of this room, which is another of these long kind of gallery spaces. And they are people posed in different ways, talking to one another, standing like they're at a party. In fact, very much like the scenes you just saw before, people lounging on furniture, talking, drinking.
Are these souls?
Yeah, Kara will turn on her detect evil and good again.
Every single one of these structures, these statues, has a soul embedded within it.
Looking at one of these, she'll take time to study one of these statues in particular, and then we'll head back through the silver door and look at the painting and see if she can find someone who resembles that first statue.
Yeah. And you do. You find maybe it's like a gnomish woman who's laughing. She's throwing her head back as she like holds a goblet. She's so lifelike. It's very, very scary as you're looking at the statue. But you realize the only difference is this sheen when you look, almost like wax. That's completely coating her form here. And you can look back and you find her. You see her in the painting. You can look back. She's in that exact same pose, that exact same position, frozen in this waxy stance, laughing.
Yeah, Kara will immediately like point this out to the other ones and will say, maybe if we destroy the paintings, or maybe if we smash the statues, maybe that might help release them.
Did you say that they were coated in wax?
Yeah, do you want to investigate them a little bit more? They're very shiny, like their skin, they're not just like frozen people. They do seem to be made of something.
Mercy is going to tentatively float forward. As a storm sorcerer, I can just fly all the time, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
why not?
Yeah.
Walking is for chumps.
Yeah. And I'd like to observe one more closely.
Yeah. So you're looking at it. What? Give me some kind of, what would you use to like appraise?
I would
something?
Definitely it'd be investigating, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead and investigate then as you're looking at this.
Oh, can I assist with my dwarven stone cunning?
These are definitely not stone.
Okay.
So I will say no. You determine that quickly though. You have that fact.
I'll assist with the good boop, which is gonna be
Guidance
a +1 guidance boop.
A total of 20 then.
Okay. So you are looking at these statues, and would Mercy have ever seen wax statues before?
Yeah, she's seen a wax simulacrum before.
Then you get that that flashback as you look at these things, and you notice the detail work on them, but they are completely made of wax, beautifully done, intricately done, obsessively done to mirror the individuals in this painting. Every detail of these things has been rendered to look so lifelike. Everything down to, the glass that has been inserted onto the pupils of the eyes to make them shine more realistically, to the little tones and details, the tear of a cuff on the very edge of a hem. Immaculately made wax statues.
They are made of wax. I don't know if we destroy some, if we will destroy the soul inside, so I could try to melt one a little bit, and I don't know, Kara or Fira, if you're able to tell how it will react.
That's not really my area, personally.
I'm sorry, I'm the party director. Yeah, if y'all want to chat about what to do, I'm going to refill my drink while you talk strategy. And our 3 friends show up.
Oh.
Is it something where we want to try to interact with the painting first, since the soul's not actually in there, just in case?
That's true. We could destroy the painting. Seems a shame, but also it is evil, so...
Yeah, once we get rid of these souls, I would like to light this place on fire. After maybe stealing a candelabra for my own place, but other than that, it's gotta go. This place is really fucked up.
Definitely, yeah, Kara's first thought is definitely that destroying the painting might be the solution.
Okay.
Oh god.
So we gather around the painting. Do you think we should set it on fire? Is that too dramatic? Maybe repeat a little bit?
As much as I love fire, let's maybe start with one, and then, a contained sort of, maybe we'll just cut it off of the painting, and then if that serves us well, then I would love to light this up with you.
Maybe we could use my charcoal. We could scribble on the painting first, or draw a little mustache, just to see how
It sounds like this is going really well.
Welcome back.
You have no idea. We're about to blow the lid off your whole plan, Celeste.
Break my game. Break my game.
Okay.
All right.
You're coming back to the 3 of us gathered around the painting. We've decided to interact with the painting first.
Wonderful.
And Mercy's just going to float up and draw a mustache on one of the people.
Okay.
On the gnome lady.
You do. And you take the time. Is it a really good mustache, or is it like a slapdash?
Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of mustache?
It's, with my performance, it's a 17. And it's one of those that are
that's
really
good.
curly at the ends.
Oh,
but
so
I've
it's
drawn
really even.
Little, all the little individual hairs.
Wow, yeah. So you are really focused, and it's hard to get a piece of charcoal from your pocket to really hit those angles, but you are, and you're doing it. The artistry is incredible.
Thank you.
As this is happening, I would like everybody to make perception checks. It's so quiet. I feel like we can all safely make some perception checks.
I get a natural 1.
I got 8.
You're really into this painting, both of you. Yeah, you're like, yeah. What is it about tieflings and hyperfixation, I guess?
Naturally neurodiverse group. Kara got a 16.
My people. So Kara, again, these 2 are just like, no, a little more bristles. As this mustache is developing on this wall, and you hear a footstep come from the room with all of the wax figures, like a roommate getting home late at night. There's that creak somewhere of something moving, and it's just the one solitary sound, and there's that pause.
Kara
So I
kind of
think- Oh, sorry.
I said, yeah, so Kara just kind of involuntarily just kind of holds her breath as a silence descends on them, and she'll say, "There's someone approaching."
That
Farrah just
I
kinda
miss
turns.
I'm like trying to smudge it. Like I I was startled and I like misdrew a little line.
Oh,
But,
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
What were
not
you saying? Yeah, what were you saying, Katie?
Yeah, Farah kind of like turns towards where Kara's like looking towards, and will just creep forward ever so slightly and like reopen the door.
Mm-hmm. And you look back inside. It looks like everything's fine, right? Make an investigation check.
I'm much better at those. Okay, that's gonna be a 17.
3 statues are not where they were before. And it takes you a moment to realize it. But you see that 3 statues that all look very, very similar. These 3 tieflings that are all wearing these white floor-length ball gowns have moved a few feet to the right of where they initially were. Now they're frozen once again in this like conversational pose, talking to each other, but you are sure they were not in that space before.
Is something different? I don't see anything different.
And you know, like Farah's tail has gone pin straight. She like takes a step back and is like, these 3 lovely tiefling ladies seem to be interested in what we're doing. Ladies, hello. How are you?
You're talking to wax statues. They don't move or respond in any way.
Has
want you to
anything
think they
happened
move.
to the mustachioed individual?
Yeah, you flashback. Your work is there and as beautiful as before, and the gnome seems to be in the exact same place.
So the painting does seem to affect the statues. And like I'm saying this, but like every other syllable I'm eyeing the 3 tieflings that were pointed out to me. What should we try next?
Car wants to try and search the painting for those 3 tiefling women.
Yeah. And you do, and they're not there. No matter where you look every corner of this thing, those 3 are not there. And you hear a creaking sound from the room. Once again. Just turn back to look.
These aren't one of the souls that are trapped here. I don't think they're...
Farah, they have moved again about a foot closer to the door. But as you look at them, they're not moving.
Farah just like points at them. She's like, don't you fucking move closer. I'm not taking my eyes off you. If I don't look away, you can't move closer. I've seen this episode of Doctor Who.
The best one.
And she like takes a step back, but like keeps the door open and like just continues to look at them. Do I notice anything on them? In particular, anything not made of wax, anything like that differentiates them from the rest?
Yeah. Are you getting close to them to look?
God, I guess.
Are you looking from over here? From the far side of the door?
I guess I hate myself. Yeah, I go in closer.
Okay. As you do get a little bit closer to these sisters, and it is walking in, they all look so similar. They must be sisters, or maybe even triplets, you think, honestly. And as you're looking at them now, those white, beautiful gowns you were seeing before, you realize actually they're more of robes. They look like wholly, really nice, but robes. They're all very similar. Something you might see in a high scale, like urban city temple, as you're looking at them. And they do have a few pieces of gold jewelry. You see this symbol that they are all wearing on them. You see the symbol repeating over and over.
Do I know the symbol?
Give me a religion check.
Okay. More guidance.
Ooh, can I assist?
Yeah. Actually, yes, you can, Kara. As you're looking. Oh yeah, yes, you can absolutely help. So roll with advantage.
Hell yeah, that's great. 'Cause the first one's a 4, but that one's an 18 plus
Hell
1
yeah.
plus 10. So
Wow.
29.
Whoa.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So you are 29. That huge. Between the two of you, you feel like you look at these symbols almost at the same time. And Kara, it's so weird. You haven't seen this symbol in so long. This mountain symbol of Dwemethoin, the Dwarven god of secrets. Weird that you're seeing this here of all places on 3 tiefling sisters.
This is really bizarre. And she'll relay that and be like, "What?
And
I don't
these
know
three,
that name.
these
Yeah,
three
Mercy's
also
like, what?
have souls in them.
Yes. Yes, they do.
I mean, what if, okay, I might have been taking crazy pills, but what if we let them creep up as much as they want to and see if no, revealing a secret wouldn't be a shtick, would it? It would be keeping it. Do I know?
God, God's work in mysterious ways. Certainly, Dwemethoin isn't someone that Mercy recognizes, not a figure that would be common to the
That is a
domains of
made-up
dread.
word.
Yeah, that sounds like some fantasy ass name that you're saying to me over and over again. So it does occur to you, Farah. If these people are souls that are stolen, that are maybe put into this place, perhaps they are trying to help you. This doesn't seem like something a Dark Lord would necessarily leave here as a clue.
Okay. Well, then I say we let them move to wherever they want to move to
That's fun.
and hope that we don't die because of my dumbass idea.
Yeah, taking Farah's lead, Kara is gonna sort of like stand a little bit protectively in front of the other two, and we'll say, I recognize that you are the clerics of Dwemethoin, and that he is the keeper of the dead, and we wish to free the dead that are trapped here. And yeah, and she'll say in common and Dwarven.
Mm-hmm. So you say that out. And again, the statues are wax. They cannot react. As you stand there looking at them, they do not move.
And then she'll put her eyes to the ground.
What are the other two of you doing?
Taking a deep breath and closing my eyes.
Mercy is just like, this still seems made up, but okay. And she closes her eyes and puts her hands in a prayer position, and you just hear her muttering under her breath like a little prayer to death.
And as you all do, and you close your eyes, you look away, you hear a step, several steps, drawing closer and closer to where you are. Do you do anything? You hear steps moving towards you.
Stay perfectly still.
My tail grasps Vera's tail.
Oh, you hold hands with your tails! Oh my god, you guys, that's worth at least a $5 donation.
Absolutely.
So you hold tail hands.
Yeah.
And the footsteps pass by you all and seem to continue to the left of where you're standing, towards one of these walls. And you hear a creaking sound as a panel opens and swings and a clattering of something like a door hitting a wall.
I open my eyes.
Open one eye.
Yeah. And as you do,
Peek.
you see these three have moved towards the section of the wall where the panel has swung open, revealing a staircase that leads on and down into the dark. And these three have framed their hands pointing down this staircase.
Oh boy.
Look
Yeah,
at us, tieflings and dwarves coming together to create helpful companions. Beautiful.
Look at this magic.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, keeping her eyes specifically on the ground will go through the doorway.
Follow.
Down into the dark. I'm assuming you're all level 18. You all have dark vision, super dark vision, probably. Yes. I just have to ask. You
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So you start to lead down into the darkness, and these steps, it's the first place you haven't seen that's elaborately decorated in this entire space. It's all been, dramatic carpets and vistas and those museum-like views, but this is just purely simple stone as you're making your way, spiraling down and down, further and further, past a point where you would definitely go to that first floor, and then down, and then down. And you come into a very large room. But I see we need to take some bio breaks real quick. So I as well have to take one. Lisa, would you be able to throw up a very
totally
quick break
queue up
screen?
a BRB. We will be right back.
We
in
will
just,
be
like,
right
5 minutes,
back.
folks.
5 minutes. We're gonna be right back.
God.
I know. I was like,
returned.
We're
Thank you all
back.
for your patience. As we deal with biology. For those of you who are new, just joining us, welcome back. We are playing through a Venture Maidens one-shot. Venture Maidens is an actual play D&D 5th edition podcast that you can see live recordings of on this channel. And this is another such recording of a very special one-shot featuring the amazing Lisa Penrose and their character Mercy. So here we are, creeping down now into the dark. We have been descending down this stone spiral staircase. You all have felt the temperature growing colder and colder. That same feeling you get when you're walking down into the cellar of a place where it was a very warm, ambient, pleasant temperature up above. But now that chill is starting to creep into your bones as you move further down into the dark. And suddenly it's not so dark anymore as these blue hovering lights illuminate the bottom of this staircase, onto which you empty out into a very, very large room. And this room, it's underground, so you might be expecting more of a cavernous sort of space, but up above you, you see delicately wrought panes of glass in between these thin iron rails that form this beautiful ceiling, almost like you're inside of a greenhouse. And to your left and to your right, you see that there are floor-to-ceiling columns that extend upwards maybe 50 feet. So this room is very tall, vast, like a chapel. And in these columns, that's the source of this blue light. You see hundreds of these compressed, compact balls of light, like what you saw in those glass orbs up above, swimming together in these large structures, illuminating, casting the room in this beautiful blue glow. And to the left and right on the far walls, they're all made of glass. But every once in a while, you see these mirror-like frames. And it all has that ambient blue light. But this space, this strange arcane space, continues on and branches to the left and to the right.
I vote right.
Right is right. Sure.
So pretty.
It is. It's beautiful. It's almost, you feel like you're in a pool, that pool light that you cast, the blues and that flickering white. It's gorgeous. If only you didn't know what exactly was casting that light.
It's really a shame that something that could have been so pretty is so fucked up. Let's get out of here as soon as possible.
To the right.
Yeah. So as you continue on and you go towards this right, you get close to one of these frames on the walls here as you're taking that natural turn. And you see a figure materializes, almost like a pane of glass there. And they are very similar to your bullfrog friend at the very beginning of this adventure, almost cast in the outlines of color rather than a full material form. You see this woman on the far side who's dressed in plate armor. She reaches up to the glass and bangs on it, looking at you with these hollow, completely black eyes as she paws at the glass from the other side, looking at you so desperately.
You said Boba's image was there, though?
No. Similar to how Boba was structured.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's in the outline of
Gotcha.
it. So this woman in armor now looks very spectral, similar to, but as you passed by, her form materialized and swirled together, and she's hammering on the other side. You can't hear anything, but her face is contorted in agony as she's tapping against the glass, looking at you all so desperately.
There's such evil in this place.
Looking at her armor, could I get maybe with a history check to get a sense of what if it's recognizable in any way?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a history check.
Oh, that's a natural 20!
Oh,
Hell
shit!
yeah.
You
22.
Damn, you're not even sure how you would even fucking know this. But you are looking at this woman and you notice her ears do have a slight point to them. And this person, you can tell, you're like, oh, you're half elven, and you look so familiar. And as your mind is trailing back over what you know in these history books, you do recognize her from paintings, from statues, from things you have recognized. This woman in front of you was a paladin of a god. You're not really familiar with it. Pelor, this like lawful good god of the sun. And you remember reading about her military conquests, her campaigns, her brilliance in driving back forces of darkness. And she looks so much like that woman. But it can't be, right?
And Kara will call out and she'll say, "We want to get you out of here. I recognize you as a powerful servant of Pelor, and I will not let you be trapped in here any longer."
And she takes a hand, pulls it back from the glass, and regards you all. And she draws from her waist a blade that shines with the light of a sun. You're not sure how you know that, but you do. That brilliance, you feel its warmth even from this side of the glass as she points, continuing you down this hallway here. And you see just beyond her, there's another of these frames, and this half-orc man appears to also dressed in this fine regalia, maybe the robes of an archmage, as they point a staff down to the right, and you see frame after frame, figure after heroic figure appearing and pointing your way through this labyrinth of strange places, guiding you towards where you need to go.
Epic.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
You follow their path.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes. We take the path of heroes.
You take the path of heroes as they're pointing you towards their captor, this curator who has dared to bring their souls and capture them here after death. And you come to this large central pavilion that has this domed room. And the dome up above is this beautifully wrought web of stars, this map of the galaxy up above. And standing at the bottom of it all in this pavilion is a small figure, maybe 4.5, 5 feet tall, hunched over, fiddling with this glass lantern. But you see their shoulders are too wide. Their head is a little too wide. And as you look at them, you realize you're seeing the back of like a powdered wig that has been stuck onto this slimy green skin. And as you turn around, this figure turns around as well, and you see the collapsed large neck of this toad-like humanoid that's just held up by this bone corset, kind of given some shape, turns towards you again, holding this lantern in this regal noble's finery, and with the black eyes, a toad's eyes set into this humanoid face. They look at you and go, rap, and throw a lantern down onto the ground, and thousands of these motes of silvery light pour out and fill the space here. I need everybody to roll some initiative.
You are a bad boba.
Bad boba. No, this isn't boba. I will tell you that. You are not betrayed.
Thank God. I really wanted Vlad to have a pet.
Whatever's in front of you is not nearly as cute as boba.
I got a 7, unfortunately.
I got a 12.
Oh boy.
I'm shocked.
Kara got an 8.
Okay. Wow, you guys. Okay. 8 for Kara. That was a 12 for Mercy.
Yeah, 12.
12 for Mercy. What were you, Pharaoh?
7.
A 7.
Make me repeat my shame.
Over and over again. What level are you? 18? Oh, a 7? Oh, that's interesting.
It hurts me more than it hurts
We can't
you.
be good at everything.
We'll see. So as this figure, and Mercy, you have now encountered several Dark Lords in your history, and this strange, weird being before you rings so true and so familiar in so many ways to you. You are sure that this is what has drawn you here into this place. As they smash that lantern upon the ground, and they are going to point one of their webbed fingers forward towards you, Mercy.
What?
And
can I, like, in a spell sort of way?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No.
I do nothing.
So, oh boy. Oh wait,
Oh, no, I don't
I've got
like
some
this.
fun. I've got some fun stuff. Got some fun stuff, kids. I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, Mercy.
Okay.
Oh no, I already know your passive wisdom. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
I get +3 on my saves, but anyway, that's 11.
Neat. So the curator is using their unbind soul
Oh
ability.
no, this seems bad.
So if a saving throw, oh yes, what was that? Carl?
Oh yeah, as a reminder that you all have a +5 to all of your
Oh,
saves while you're
okay.
within 10 feet of me.
I feel like we're still kind
Oh.
of in a huddle.
Yeah.
having
And
walked
you
over.
also can't be charmed and you can't be frightened.
Okay, well then that's a 16 if that makes a difference.
That still does not make a
Oof.
difference. So but you don't fail by 5 or more, which is nice, because that would have been very bad. But otherwise, a creature that fails the saving throw is restrained as your soul struggles to stay in your body. A restrained creature must repeat the saving throw at the end of its next turn, falling unconscious. Falling unconscious with its soul trapped in a soul cage on a failure. So, what does it feel like, Mercy, as your soul is fighting to stay in your body?
I feel like Mercy kind of, if like the movie cuts to Mercy just in the mists again, and it's just her and the curator having a conversation, a bargain, although I don't know how much control she's going to have over it, having a slod or frog conversation in this sort of tiny like pocket dimension of her mind.
Yeah. And you see this figure, and again, now that you're looking at him, he is dressed in such finery, such fine things, and carries himself with such a nobility about it. And they say, listen, Mercy, I know you have struggled. You have struggled for so long. I see that about you, and you are remarkable. I promise, if you stay with me, you will always be seen for your deeds, for your actions, for all eternity. You will never be forgotten.
Mercy is running to, like, through the mist, and I imagine it's like she runs into the mist and then she kind of like comes back and is in front of the curator again. And she's just like, I need to get out of here. This isn't real. See, my friends need my help, and it was never about glory.
And he waits for you again. You run, you come back, you trail back into the mist, and you see he takes another of these glass lanterns that was hanging at his belt and opens it up and holds it out towards you, just waiting. You see these little silvery threads of yourself almost being pulled, almost wanting to go into this thing.
And as she's being pulled forward, she's also struggling to take steps back, grasping at her Eternal Order rosary around her neck.
So you're locked in this struggle here. And what Farah and Kara are seeing is that Mercy goes very, very still. And this glassy expression, I think, comes over her eyes. And her body is shuddering just a bit, almost like it's move forward, move back, move forward. The tension, the extreme tension that is happening here. And that is going to carry us then to Mercy. I need you to go ahead and you can try and repeat this wisdom saving throw.
Okay, that's better. So that's 14 plus the 5 from Kara, which is 19, plus 3 plus another 3.
There you
25.
go.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That's a level 18 roll.
Yeah, 25. All right. So how do you break out of this? What is that scene? I think you get a final fuck you in that scene. What does it look like?
I think Mercy, she's clutching at her rosary with the one hand, and with the other, she starts to gather those silver threads that are stretching from her to this open lantern. And as her hand closes around them, you see sort of these static sparks as her storm-touchedness starts to take over this instinct.
Yes, yeah, and you just you dazzle outwards, and the spark storm moves towards this toad-like thing, and you see its rubbery skin like jitters and moves with that shock, and it pulls this cage away from you in your mind, and you all see the shards of this collapsed thing fall to the floor, and you hear a very low, "Oh, you could have been so beautiful," is what you all hear in reality, other than this fine, noble voice in your imagination. And Mercy, it takes you your action to do that, to come back to yourself. But is there anything else you would like to do on your turn?
That takes my action.
Your action.
No, I don't think. Hold on. Actions, bonus actions. Take a peek. No.
Okay. All right.
I'm good. I have my
So you
soul.
come back, you spring boomerang back into yourself in this moment. You feel secure, whole, as your soul remains in place. And then Kara, we come to you.
Oh, total side note. I'm definitely imagining this creature as like Jeff Goldblum in the Thor movies, but a toad.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I needed to share that with you all.
Amazing.
Thank
In
you
that
so
case,
much.
Mercy's like, I am the god of lightning.
Oh
yeah.
boy. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a bonus action to cast blinding smite.
Whoa.
And then so you see as Kara unsheaves her sword and she holds it aloft, and suddenly this just bright, just piercing light just flashes out from it. And then she's going to use her action to use her channel divinity, and you see like as it flashes out and it just coalesces onto the sword, and you see the sort of ice and water that sort of drips off and like just evaporates as these little white snowflakes that sort of frost around her, like casting this aura. And she says, "Stay close to me. I can protect you as long as you're close." And she is going to run at that thing, ready to attack it on her next turn.
Hell yeah. And you do, yeah, you run like towards the thing, and it kind of shudders back a little bit as you just go bull rushing at it. But it doesn't seem to have any weapons on him other than just these weird lanterns that hang about its body. And then Farah, we come to you.
Yeah, so there's a moment of like, you want me to do what? And she's like, okay. And she starts to move in with Kara. And I'm going to go ahead and as we move forward, quicken spell, give Kara a haste.
Neat. Wow, that's gonna fucking yep.
Let's go.
I know what our secret weapon is. I've been doing this long enough. So I'm gonna give Kara haste, and then I'm going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to launch my wings just in case. As you just hear, like almost like circus tents being thrown out, and these rotating black and white checkered, just fabric-like wings burst from Farah's back, just keeping herself just far enough away, a little bit like 10 feet, one might say, away from Kara, but airborne.
Neat. Yes, wonderful. And I am going to say, as Kara was running forward, and so Farah is a little bit behind, I'm going to go ahead and pull a legendary action here. And Kara, I need you to go ahead and make me a... Oh gosh, do you even get a saving throw?
Oh no.
Oh no. So Kara, as you were running forward and running towards this thing, suddenly all of these souls, these lights, these orbs that exploded outwards from this lantern the curator threw on the ground coalesce and run towards you like you're a magnet, or they're little iron fillings and you are a magnet as they come towards you and form this cube around you and construct themselves very rapidly into bars as you find your passageway blocked, as you have become stuck in a force cage.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Cage! And just no matter how you are trying, it's like holding these bars of light. You are stuck. There's nothing you can do to move forward.
It's like, despite all my rage, I'm just a barbarian in a cage.
Sometimes it do be like that. Yeah, I'm gonna count that as the pun I was supposed to make before. And I think that was powerful enough that it speaks throughout time and space.
Through time and space.
So that was my legendary action. You are stuck in a force cage, my friend, and boy, is that just a jerk move. I realize that, but I realize that. Here, I'm posting. Here, if you all want to look at the little specifications here, force cage, I've dropped that in for you in the little chatty chat.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't mind. Don't mind if I do. So you see, so Mercy and Farah, Kara, these souls come together to create this cage around your friend who is like, follow me, I'll protect you. Which feels great. So Farah, was there anything else on your turn? I imagine you run past and like cage comes up in this moment.
No, that's my whole turn.
Damn. All right. Well, then that is going to bring us to my curator's turn. He's very pleased with himself. Luckily, Unbind Soul is a recharge. Let's see. You're so lucky that didn't happen again. So the curator is going to move forward and leaps forward. You see their legs bend backwards and spring as their backwards frog legs propel them now past where Kara has been encaged and standing right before you, Farah. And they are going to make 3 attacks. Yep. As you see, this large tongue lashes out of this frog-like face, running towards you. Oh,
Okay.
a plus 16 to hit. What was that?
I said okay.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Neat. Yeah, we're playing big leagues now, kids. That'll be 7, 10 plus 8. Yeah, so it's going to be 22 bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
Oh, wow, that's so much damage. 22, and you get pulled in even closer as this tongue wraps around you, Farah, and drags you onto the ground. So you are now face to face with this small, scary little creature wrapped in finery. And two more. Ah, yes, Soul Cage, Soul Cage. So it's gonna try and hit you again here. Oh man, 16 plus 18, probably enough. That's gonna be
Maybe.
18 bludgeoning damage. And as you are pulled close and you just start to feel something within you shred and scream, it's like that feeling of sudden anxiety, torment, sadness that comes over you, all those negative emotions being impacted like a blow at you as you take 14 psychic damage. You feel your soul being shredded. What does that feel like? I think specifically for Fair, is that a physical thing or a purely like mental experience?
Yeah, I think that Farrah is not somebody who's been through historically a lot of physical damage. So I think that it's all mental for her, as it's just like every bad thought and fear just kind of is pulled to the surface as she is pulled in. And every thought that she'd previously had is pushed to the back, and she's just in sheer panic, right face to face with this little toady creature ruining her fucking life.
You fucking guy. And you know what? It's not enough. They're gonna do it again. As you are just suffering and they dig down, and again, you're looking at those eyes, and they are, the wrong way slanted eyes of an amphibian that's staring at you soullessly as it continues to tear at your own. So that's gonna be a 31 to hit.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's gonna be 18 bludgeoning damage, plus another. Oh boy, 9 plus 10. That's okay. So 19 psychic damage. As again, that strength, and you see there is a pause, a very malicious pause between that one attack and then the glee of getting to do it again as it twists and parts the threads of your sanity. And that is going to bring us now to Mercy, who you have come back into yourself just in time now to see this happening. Kara being shoved into a cage made of souls, and now Farah in the grasp of this thing.
Well, I'm hoping that Fira has a way to get Kara out of this cage. Mercy has been clutching that rosary of hers, and her eyes kind of snap back into focus, and she says a quick prayer to Death, calling on Death's aid to return what is rightfully theirs. And two things are going to happen because I'm going to use sorcery points to quicken one. The first is that I'm going to try and chill touch this Froggo.
All right.
With a 29.
Yes.
To hit.
Yes. They are wearing like
these.
noble regalia, so not exactly armor.
I'll roll these twice. 16, 20, 26 necrotic damage.
Ooh, ow.
Okay. And then the other thing, if I can flavor this to be cool. So she calls on Death, and I feel like the soul of that first framed dwarf shows up with the like shining sun sword, as Mercy casts Sunbeam. And the beam looks like this dwarf rushing forward. It is a Constitution save.
Okay. Yes, let's go. I'll say that was the half elf from the first frame.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Half
elf.
elf.
Yeah. No worries. Just want to clarify. So yeah, the half elf. So this woman runs forward with the light Pelor on her side. And what do we get? Shit. I rolled the worst I could possibly get, which is still 17.
Oh, well, the number to beat was a meter beat was 18.
Meh.
Yay! So let's grab one more. We'll roll these twice, and I believe it's radiant damage. That would make sense.
Yep. Yes.
Let's see. 8 plus 6, 14, 15, 19, 26. Straight 30 radiant damage.
Ooh, yeah, level 18. That's nice.
Oof. And that is my action and my bonus action.
Okay. Yeah, so and you see, the lance of sunlight as the sunbeam comes through and pierces through this thing. And the tongue that was wrapped around Farah, having you kind of suspended and trapped in this moment of your own terror, it retracts back like a like a yo-yo back into the mouth of this creature that hunches over. And its head can't drop too low because again, it has that bone corset. You see these rib cages that have been stacked and almost woven together to keep it upright. So it just spins around and looks at you and goes as it and brings the tongue back into its mouth. So Kara, we move to you. You're trapped in this cage. It is a situation where you can see. There are bars on this cage. So you can't move out of the cage unless you have something very clever.
I do not. I do not have any sort of
Force cage is a
teleportation
real
magics.
butt of a
It is, and I even I can still dispel magic, but even that will not stop this force
that will
cage.
not stop this.
Unfortunately, it specifically says to.
Yep.
So
It's the worst.
Kara is absolutely furious and is practically throwing herself against these like glowing silver bars that have been coalesced out of
Made of souls that are forced to hold you in place.
And she's just like, fuck, well, if I can't get at him, then I'll do something for you all. And you see her aura kind of like shimmering aura kind of extends over both Mercy and Farah as she casts Beacon of Hope. So you all both receive advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws and regain the maximum amounts of hit points whenever you regain HP.
Nice.
Neat. Well, Curator doesn't like that, but isn't too concerned. But they're going to do a legendary action anyway, just to lash a tongue out at Mercy, who is now standing back there just being a butt.
No thanks.
I got a natural one though, so the tongue just can't quite find purchase. I'll say it becomes a blep as the tongue lolls out and gets caught in between like two of the ribs that are stacked up to make the collar, and it bleps.
It's not so bad. It's kind of cute.
It's looking at you, and it makes this frustrated webby dancing motion as its legendary action fails. That's going to bring us to Farah.
Okay, so Farah just looks like she's about in the throes of a panic attack when this big blast comes and hits this guy. And I think that like for a moment, her vision is lit up, and when she can kind of see again, for some reason now, this creature has like this stupid ass looking mask on its face and is making all these faces at her, and she's kind of confused. In that moment of like, what the fuck is going on? She's able to break out of that panic. As she kind of like feels a little bit more security, and she's going to regain half of her hit points back for 82.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Damn. Calling on those patrons, those divine connections.
Nice. And it eventually fades away, and she's just like, oh, thanks, I guess. And then kind of looks at Kara and like takes a second to think about how the fuck do I deal with this, and is just gonna be like, go big and cast anti-magic field.
Oh shit, there we go. That's how we deal with a force cage.
And just this cage just disappears, and she's like, okay, run, get out of there.
Like go. Hell yes. Take a point of inspiration. That's awesome.
That was badass.
That's a great way to get around. The only way one might say to get around a force cage. Fuck yeah. And is there any effect to your anti-magic, or is it the most normal of all things, just the absence of magic?
Yeah, I think that based on where she gets her magic from, I think that all of the things that had previously been inhabiting it that are magic kind of like fall into just this like fuckery. So like all these like bars just kind of like turn into snakes and fall to the floor before they disappear
Into toy rubber snakes that just fall apart.
Yeah, and then like all like the glow that was surrounding Kara for that moment, just like it's like those little like tiny firecracker toys you got as a kid, as it just like pops all around, making this like hoopla before it all just like disappears.
Oh, what hoopla. Excellent. Well, in response to that, it is the curator's turn, and they're not great about that. And, rude. So, Farah, you've got a 26 coming your way as another tongue attack is lashing out towards you.
Okay.
All right. That is going to be 18 bludgeoning damage. And you get, like, yanked back a little bit closer to this curator here. And then the curator is pointing a webbed hand now at this freed Kara that looks so mad. That's gonna be a 27. Will that even hit you, Kara?
Yeah, that will hit.
That will hit. Who even knows Kara in play? I have no idea. So that is gonna be 14 points of bludgeoning damage. And then only six psychic damage. What does it look like with Kara's soul being shredded? How does that viscerally affect you?
Ooh, I think it's like the worst armor chafing ever.
It's like my soul is run into a cheese grater, and it's just on the deepest level possible.
No, but I think like she feels it like deep with like in the pit of her stomach, of that like that sort of roiling sort of turmoil like deep within her body, and just like, yeah, it just has to stop for a moment. She's just kind of reels back from feeling that.
Yeah. Oh man, chat, it would be so nice if we got an ally here to help us out. If we did want another $50 would get us there. You know what? I'll even accept it for a $25 donation. I would send in somebody to help out, because boy, oh boy, as Carson getting
this
cheese grated. That's fine. Do it for the children, for the youth. So that is going to bring us now to Mercy. You see both of your new allies here just getting devastated by this thing.
Mercy is feeling pretty desperate. She starts marching her way up towards the curator. As she does, I'm going to quicken another chill touch. So a skeletal hand comes out of the ground, and 27
Ooh,
to hit.
Yes. Ooh.
9 plus 8, 17 plus 5, 22 points of necrotic damage.
Owie.
And then when she gets to the curator, she's going to lean into where she thinks his ear is.
That's a question.
And she's going to, I'm just going to gamble on this. She's going to say in Abyssal one word, Tenebris. And I'm going to cast Power Word Kill. Any chance he has 100 hit points or fewer right now?
No.
Oh, damn. Nothing happens, but she's right up in his face.
You see skin, goosebumps crawl across his skin as you say that. Yeah, it's a word of power. Nobody likes hearing that. Nobody likes hearing that.
Yeah, he disliked it, so that was...
I will say, why don't you just go ahead and roll a percentile die for me, Mercy, as you say this word of power in this place full of dead souls, and you say power word kill.
44.
Okay. Somewhere far away, and it's so you're in action, right? This is 6 seconds happening, but I think Kara, again with that passive perception, somewhere you hear glass shatter.
Cool.
Somewhere in the distance, as Mercy says this word. And that is going to bring us to Kara. It is your turn. You have a moment to notice that, and then you're back in this action.
Oh boy,
you are free.
So yeah, after feeling a part of her soul shred and disintegrate spiritually off of her, and hearing this glass shatter, I think it snaps her back into action, and she's going to maneuver around so she is no longer within the anti-magic field, sort of spin around to the back, trying to get as close as possible she can to her dear friends here. And she is going to do a big fucking attack because we are hasted and we are
Yes.
Let's do it.
and
Do all
we
the
have
actions.
we have a plus 18 to hit, so that's pretty
Yes.
sexy.
Well, so do I. So, you know, whatever. I'm not jealous. My CR24 creature, we fine. It's whatever.
So that is a 28 to hit,
Yeah.
and we are gonna do.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of dice you're rolling right now.
Well, that's pretty good. So that is 18.
Look at that math. I'm terrified. Look at the math actively happening here.
That is 46 damage.
That's just one attack,
That's
right?
just one attack.
Oh, shit.
Only. No, again, I'm gonna keep going. It's fine.
That is a natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
We are going to spend a 3rd level spell slot to add a 3rd level smite on top of that.
Oh yeah.
Can I put up shield just so that I don't get the splatter?
Yeah, for the impact of this, can I put up shield in real life?
Oh my god. Okay.
Katie in chat, not to brag,
10.
but yeah, we definitely fucked. Uh,
28 plus
all right, I'm terrified. I don't even. This
4.
number is God. Level 18 paladins.
Beautiful.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Let's see. Let's see. How do we do?
That is 57 damage.
Oh my gosh.
Third.
Ah.
What does this look like? You don't quite kill him, but like clearly you have taken him down to this is so much damage. What does this barrage of attacks look like?
Oh man, as she is just erupts from this forest cage after Ferris sets her free, and she just maneuvers around. And so she just, right underneath that skeletal corset, propping up its head, she just jams her sword, Ravenel, up into the area, aiming clearly straight for the head, as this sort of like torrent of like silvery mist and like darkness spills out from this creature, and she just stabs in again, and then she is going to use her bonus action to we are going to cast a we'll cast a 2nd level searing smite, and then because she's hasted, she's going to use her action to attack again.
Yes.
You didn't realize that this was a horror game for you, Celeste.
That is a 30 to hit.
Yeah, of course 30 hits. God, what do you want? I've created a fucking monster.
That is an additional 34 damage.
Fuck, man. All right. And you deliver this another incredible blow onto this thing. And at this point, you have absolutely shattered through this bone corset thing that's been holding up this creature's neck. So now its wounded head sort of flops over in this space, and it's scuttling backwards now as you see all of these souls around this sanctum it has created are flocking towards and closer towards it. And things are looking pretty dire. And Mercy, you get this very weird feeling of like a hand on your shoulder, and it's that thing where you can't really see something, but you feel something behind you. Something definitely touched you, and all around you because there are frames on all of these walls too. The glass of this place starts to shatter outwards as unseen creatures, the swirling silver mist starts to appear in this space. And the curator turns, and they've been getting wailed on, took so much damage in this round, but as the mist comes through, they look suddenly afraid for the very first time. And before your eyes, you see this figure, as the mist creeps in and hovers over it, becomes eviscerated as unseen beings tear this Dark Lord apart piece by bloody piece, and screaming the entire time. And over the shattering of glass, you all see the curator destroyed by those beings they had contained for so long. And those mists don't stop there. They swirl around your feet, around all of you, but for some reason you don't feel afraid. You feel like whatever this is, it means you well. As you find yourself standing again in a stone mausoleum in front of this god-awful Gothic archway with this very soggy gift basket sitting on the floor. Mercy, you can just make out that, dripping down the hunk of like nasty damp Swiss cheese. There are some tickets to something. You can't read what it says anymore as the ink drips down.
Thank you.
Is
this boba?
Oh, that's what that is. You all have survived your stint in the mists, and you have freed so many souls that were trapped by the curator. Congratulations, you all! You've made it. Thank you. Yes, thank you all so much for being here for our first legacy game. I'm so glad that Mercy is in the world of the Venture Maidens now.
Yes, what a fantastic addition.
Yes. For those of you, so let me show you some art.
Yes, please.
Oh, I love those guys. Those guys are the best.
So this is the curator, which is actually an archfiend that I wrote for the Kobold Press Tome of Beasts 2. But I figured they'd make a good Dark Lord for this adventure.
He's cute, but at the same time, imagine that face inches away from you, sucking your soul out of your body.
Exactly.
I don't love that.
Preserving it forever. It's so nice. But thank you all so much for joining us for this game. It has been an incredible couple of days. We've raised $1,500 for the Trevor Project, which is an amazing organization that saves the lives of LGBTQ youth, providing mental health services and suicide prevention. So thank you. Everything you have done, sticking with us, it means the world to us, and it will keep the world going for other people. So thank you. But let's go ahead and do some outros here. Let's let people know where they can find you when you're not here. Well, Lisa, we'll wait on you. But Katie, where can people go to find you when you're not here on the Venture Maidens channel, I guess?
Well, I'm mostly here, but you can find me on Twitter at lazy_mermaiden, where there will always be something posted if I'm doing anything else. You can also find a link to my Etsy store where I make D&D related goodies for your enjoyment. So check that out. I'm adding new stuff all the time.
Yes. And Sage, where can people go to find you and tell you how awesome you are and how bonkers it is that you can do 200 damage go around or whatever?
That was...
Oh, man.
I'm fine.
Ooh.
I'm fine. I'm not scared.
So yes, also I definitely want to second Katie's Etsy store. She has amazing stickers and designers, and she's a very talented artist, so you should absolutely go and buy stuff from her store. They're amazing. This amazing sticker that's on my microphone is a Katie original.
Yeah.
So I am Sage. I am a professional DM and player here on the Venture Maidens, where I both play in and run shows. So we're very excited to be able to play cards sometime in the future when we get in our next legacy game. And but Other than that, I'm always working on starting up new projects and everything. So follow me at Staff of Sage on Twitter, where you can also, DM me if you want me to guest or be a mainstay on your podcast or what have you, or if you, talk about magic, any social justice needs. I'm here to talk and collaborate with the many wonderful and incredible and talented people in this community.
Yes. And of course, Lisa, again, in case people missed it, who are you, where they can find you? And probably as, a Penwitch founder, you might want to say some stuff too. So there you go.
Let's see. What order do we do all these things?
Yes, exactly.
I am Lisa Penrose. I do so many things in tabletop role-playing games, a bunch of witchy things as well. So you can follow me personally at Lisa Penrose pretty much everywhere. I am also the host and producer of Behold Her podcast, which spotlights other femmes in tabletop role-playing games. You can check out Behold Her wherever podcasts are free, and also follow at Behold Her Pod over on Twitter. And then, I am half of the co-founding team of Penwitch Studio, our podcast network, which presented PodJam. And words are really hard right now, so I'm just going to echo a lot of the thanks that Celeste said for folks who joined us for fundraising, for tuning in, supporting, just retweeting, getting the word out, grabbing other people to come check out the stream. Thank you so much. I feel really emotional about the resources that we created this weekend, which are going to go up onto YouTube and be available for other aspiring podcasters. And not just that we're creating the resources, but that we were able to showcase a lot of voices that don't usually get heard in the realm of geeky podcasting at large. So thank you everyone who's been a part of this. Celeste.
Yeah, thank you. You all are incredible. And if you liked the work we're doing here, if you enjoyed this event, please do consider following Penwitch Studio on Twitter. We have a website as well. Check out our shows. This is certainly not the last event we are going to be doing. This is our very first. We're a new podcast network. So please, all of that encouragement, if you like what we do, let us know. Engage, interact, follow our shows, check out all these amazing voices and the people you've seen here over the past 2 days. We want to make a difference, and you are part of that. And just thank you. Thank you all so much. But with that, I think we're going to close out our 2 days. So thank you everybody so much for being here. Lisa, something we like to do at the very end of a Venture Maidens episode is say venture away, and we all try to say it at the same time. So we're going to try and do it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Venture away!
That was pretty good. I'm going to say,
proud of
bye,
us.
everybody. That was